Okay, continuing to talk about square roots. If you watch that video of estimating square roots, this video is going to talk about simplifying square roots. I'm Justine. Hopefully you've watched my videos and enjoyed them. So we're going to simplify square roots in this case. So the square root of 20. How do we simplify the square root of 20? We know it's not a perfect square because we can estimate it. It's going to be between 3 and 4. I mean, not 3 and 4, 4 and 5, because 4 squared is 16 and 5 squared is 25, and 20 lies between 16 and 25. But how do we really just simplify it so it can be its exact value? So what you want to do, we're going to review something called the prime factorization tree. So the prime factorization tree says it brings it down to its prime factorization. It's prime factors that when you multiply them together, it will give you 20. So to do that, what we want to do is figure out 2 factors of 20. You can say 4 and 5. You can also say 10 and 2. I'm going to break it down 4 and 5. So 4 and 5, I'm going to break it down to those factors. And then 5, I know I can't break it down anymore because it's already prime. I'm trying to get to the prime numbers. So I'm going to circle it when it becomes prime. 4, I can continue to break down because 2 and 2 gives me 4 as well. So 2 and 2 gives me 4. Can I break down 2? Nope. 2 is prime, so I'm going to circle those 2. And so everything that I have circled is what you call the prime factorization of 20. So that means if we do 2 times 2 times 5, we'll get 20. And we can check that. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Great. Now to simplify, back to simplifying the square root, what we're doing is we're looking for pairs because it's square root. So something times itself gives me that. So we're looking for pairs, so 2's. So if you notice, here's a pair of 2's. So when I identify a pair, I can actually take that number out of the radical. So I can take a 2 out of the radical. So I took a 2 out of the radical, and then I'm left with whatever doesn't have a pair. So I'm left with 5. So 5 doesn't have a pair, so I've simplified the square root of 20 into 2 square root of 5, because 2 had a pair, so I can take that 2 out of the radical. And then square root of 5. Now you're looking for pairs, okay? So I'm just going to say this. Let's say the prime factorization was 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So we want to circle pairs. So here's a pair of 2's. But this 2 doesn't have a pair, so it actually has to stay in the radical. This means that I can take out a 2, and then underneath the radical, I still have 2 times 5. Which 2 times 5 is just 10. So this, if the prime factorization was this, it would simplify down to 2 square root of 10 because I'm looking for pairs. Remember that. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do the square root of 27. The square root of 27, if I want to do prime factorization, so I think to myself, what 2 factors multiplied together give me 27? 3 and 9. So 3 times 9, and 3 is prime, so I circle it, and then 9 I can break down to 3 and 3 again. So 3 times 3, I'm going to circle those because now they're prime. So now we have the prime factorization of 27, which is 3 times 3 times 3. And I'm looking for pairs again. So I'm going to circle a pair of 3's, which means I can take out a 3. But this 3 doesn't have a pair, so I'm going to leave it in the radical. So I can take out a 3 and then leave that 3 in the radical that doesn't have a pair. So 27, square root of 27, will simplify to 3 square root of 3. Okay, and that is how you simplify radicals. Thank you for watching.